In San Francisco, like other major cities, Chinatown is a favorite spot for dining, shopping, and sightseeing. But to nearly all who come to visit, the sights and sounds of Chinatown are mysterious. Who are all these figures that line store windows, staring back at the puzzled faces of tourists? What are the stories? What are the secrets? And how can you gain a fuller understanding of this fascinating and colorful place? This part of the program will give you a rare glimpse into the gods and legends of China. You can learn to recognize the statues and articles that fill the temples, the small shrines, and the shelves of gift stores, restaurants, and shops. Learning the stories of some of the most common gods and legends will also increase your China trip enjoyment and will turn an ordinary gift store into a museum of Chinese culture. These are the secrets of Chinatown. Perhaps the most common figure of Chinatown, seen everywhere, is Guanyin. This is a Buddhist deity that symbolizes compassion. She's called a bodhisattva, a Buddhist word that means wisdom being. Bodhisattvas vow to help all other beings attain enlightenment. Of all the Buddhist bodhisattvas, Guanyin is by far the most popular. Guanyin's statues fill shops and are found in many Chinese homes. In Chinese Buddhist temples, this deity is often found behind the central Buddha figure of the main hall. Although she usually appears as a female, Guanyin is said to appear in the world in many different ways, which include appearing as a man, a woman, and even as an animal. In this instance, she appears as a sa shui, or water-sprinkling Guanyin. She pours water from a vase to nourish the seeds of wisdom in people's hearts. Another form, called the songzi, or children-bringing Guanyin, is a protector of children. Guanyin is also often seen standing on the head of or accompanied by a dragon. This symbolizes the bodhisattva's profound wisdom and power. The next most common god of Chinatown, nearly as popular as Guanyin, is Guangong, a name that means the Duke Guan. He is also called Guanyu and Guandi. Guangong was a famous general who lived at the end of the Han Dynasty, nearly 1800 years ago. At that time, China was broken up into three kingdoms that vied with each other for control of the entire country. A famous Chinese book entitled The Romance of the Three Kingdoms tells the tale of this struggle. The good guys in this historical epic were in the kingdom of Shu, which included the area of modern Sichuan province. The leader of Shu was a virtuous man named Liu Bei, and his foremost general was Guangong. Guangong is honored because he embodied many traits that the Chinese hold dear, particularly honesty, loyalty, and courage. He was a brilliant and brave fighter, always ready to put principle before gain and loyalty before advantage. Guangong is extremely popular. You can identify him because he usually holds a sword or poled weapon. He often wears a green robe, and with a long beard, he may also have a red face. You'll see him on small altars and shrines in shops and restaurants all over Chinatown and in many places in China. Among his other admirable qualities, Guangong was very wise, and he is sometimes seen reading a book, a symbol of his great intelligence. Now let's take a look at the Happy Buddha that is a common sight in China and Chinatown. This big Buddha is named Maitreya. In old China, some Buddhist believers thought he would come to the world in the future. This Buddhist deity can be traced to Central Asia, but there he did not look like the fat, happy monk we see in Chinese temples and gift stores today. So how did he get this appearance? In 10th century China, it is said there was a Buddhist monk named Budai, a name that means cloth bag. His Japanese name is Hotei. This monk traveled throughout China carrying a hobo-style cloth bag that was often slung on a shoulder pole. He had a wonderful manner, and everyone liked him, especially children. After he died, people thought that only a Buddha could have such a wonderful personality. so he was called an incarnation of Maitreya, the Buddha of the future. Now, if you visit a Buddhist temple, you'll usually see a statue of Maitreya greeting you in one of the front halls or gates. His happy countenance and round body is modeled after the monk Budai, a real monk who lived 1,000 years ago. Next on our tour of common figures is Bodhidharma. This Buddhist monk lived around the year 500 and brought the teachings of Zen Buddhism from India to China. He's a common figure not only in China, but also in Japan, where he is called Daruma-san. There, his red body is commonly seen in store windows and other places. Besides bringing Zen to China, Bodhidharma is also remembered as the patron saint of Chinese Kung Fu, or martial arts. According to legend, Bodhidharma lived at Shaolin Temple, now the world's most famous center for Kung Fu practitioners. There he meditated in this mountain cave for 9 years. Various other legends about Bodhidharma are widely known. For example, a story says that he cut off his own eyelids so that he wouldn't fall asleep during his meditation. When he threw them on the ground, tea plants grew on that spot, and thus tea was introduced to China. Another legend says he crossed the Yangtze River while standing on a single stick of bamboo. Yet another common Chinatown figure is Zhonghui, the demon queller. A traditional holiday called the Hungry Ghost Festival, something like our Halloween, was a day when dead spirits were believed to wander the world trying to satisfy their hunger. A figure of Zhonghui guarded the door, like a jack-o'-lantern, keeping unwanted spirits from coming inside. You can identify Zhonghui from his fierce expression. Also, he often wears a red robe. Another whimsical Chinese legendary figure is the monk Qigong. He was a Buddhist who lived in the beautiful lake city of Hangzhou about 1,000 years ago. Qigong was a rather unusual Buddhist monk. It's said that he was not a vegetarian and not only enjoyed eating meat, but also loved to drink wine. He is easily recognized by his unusual cap, which looks like an old-style folding Boy Scout cap or an American Army private's cap. He might be seen drinking from a jug of wine or picking a cricket out of his beard. One of the most common sights of China and Chinatown are 3 figures known as the 3 stars. These are Taoist deities that represent long life, good fortune, and a good career. The figure for long life, called Shouxing, is very easy to recognize. He has a bald head and usually holds a peach, the fruit that stands for longevity. You'll see these 3 figures in restaurants and gift shops throughout China and Chinatown. Many Chinese words are used as decorations. The most common is the word shou, the word for longevity. This word can be seen everywhere in many variations. You'll see it on clothing, purses, pillows, and other decor. It is also seen on buildings and doorways, and it is the underlying pattern for many Chinese design motifs. Another common Chinese word used in Chinese designs is the word xi, which means happiness. It is always seen in pairs in a symbol that means double happiness. You'll often see this word used in decor items. Let's do a quick review of the things we've covered in this presentation. First, there was Guanyin, the Buddhist bodhisattva that symbolizes compassion. Next, we talked about Guanggong, the famous general that represents courage, loyalty, and wisdom. Maitreya, the fat, happy Buddha, is fashioned after an historical monk named Budai, whose name means cloth bag. We also met Bodhidharma, the Buddhist monk who brought Zen from India to China around the year 500. Then there was Zhonghui, the demon queller, who guards against demons and hungry ghosts. Qigong. He was a Buddhist who lived in the beautiful lake city of Hangzhou about 1,000 years ago. The 3 stars represent long life, good fortune, and a good career. The word shou is used everywhere to mean longevity. The symbol shuangxi means double happiness. If you can remember these figures and motifs, you'll amaze other tour members with your expert knowledge, plus make your trip to China and Chinatown more memorable.